Welcome to the Millionaire's Pathway, the channel that doesn't just talk about wealth, but shows you how to reprogram your mind to attract it. If you're tired of surviving and want to start living, you're in the right place. Here, we uncover the mental patterns that are silently holding you back and reveal the tools used by the world's most successful minds. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any video that can change your entire financial mindset. Let's get started. Part 1. The invisible prison. Most people live inside a prison they can't even see. And the worst part? They built it themselves, thought by thought. This prison is called programming. From childhood, we are taught to fear lack, worship security, and distrust wealth. We are told that money is evil, that being rich is for others, and that wanting more is selfish. But let me tell you the truth. This is the greatest lie ever sold. This programming doesn't just affect your wallet, it controls your dreams, your relationships, your identity. And here's where everything starts to change. When you realize you've been conditioned to stay poor, you begin to awaken. That's what Napoleon Hill taught in Think and Grow Rich. He discovered that success begins in the mind, long before it appears in the bank account. And more than that, he revealed that we can reprogram ourselves. Part 2. Childhood conditioning. No one tells you this, but programming begins early. Since childhood, you were trained to obey, not to think, conditioned to accept, repeat, and not question. At school, you learn to follow rules. On TV, you're flooded with fear. At work, you're slotted into a system that rewards submission and punishes ambition. Ever noticed how talking about money makes people uncomfortable? As if pursuing wealth was shameful or wrong. That's not by accident. The less you think about wealth, the easier it is to keep you from it. The more afraid you are of failure, the more you cling to safety. And what's safe? A fixed salary, a predictable routine, a life where you survive, but never thrive. Hill knew that fear is the system's most powerful weapon. Fear of criticism, fear of poverty, fear of judgment, fear of rejection. When fear runs your decisions, you're not living, you're reacting. The second step to freedom is taking full responsibility. It's painful, it's uncomfortable, but it's liberating. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can learn from pain. You can break cycles. You can stop blaming the world and take ownership of your life. Because before any millionaire made money, they made a decision. Part 3. Pain as a teacher. Taking responsibility changes something inside. You realize no one is coming to save you. No politician, no boss, no family member. Your rescue was never outside. It starts with an internal choice to grow, even if it hurts. Here's a powerful but often ignored truth about a millionaire mindset. Pain is a teacher, not an enemy. The wealthy don't avoid discomfort, they use it as a compass. If you avoid money talks, that's where you need to go. If you feel ashamed of your dreams, that's your battleground. If you procrastinate daily, that's your breakthrough point. Hill said, "Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." But that seed only grows if you choose to learn. You don't need more motivation. You need clarity. And clarity comes from pain, frustration, and a brutal awareness that you're living below your potential. You may be stuck in a loop of self-sabotage. Maybe you're even afraid of success. Yes, afraid of succeeding. Because success means responsibility. It means no more excuses. It means letting go of the version of you that played small. You can't become rich and keep a poor mindset at the same time. Part 4. Wanting versus becoming. Here's a question that can change everything. Do you truly want to be rich? Or do you just like the idea of being rich? Because wanting requires action. It requires consistency. It requires sacrificing your old identity. Most people want the reward but not the process. They want freedom without letting go of the chains. They want the summit, but not the climb. Hill taught us, wealth is not an accident, it's a result. A chain reaction triggered by focused thoughts, converted into belief, then into action, and maintained with persistence. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It won't come. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start, from where you are, with what you have. Millionaires don't start with advantages. They start with focus, with hunger, with courage to move even when no one believes in them. Here's the truth. You don't need permission to begin. The world only applauds when it's already done. Before that, it's just silence and doubt. But in the silence, you discover your strength. In the doubt, you build unshakable clarity. Wealth doesn't chase people. It is attracted by the person you become. Part 5. Reprogramming through identity. Ask yourself daily, is what I'm doing moving me closer or further from my freedom? If it's moving you away, stop. If it's bringing you closer, go all in. This simple question disrupts the autopilot. It makes you act with purpose. Hill also said, successful people decide fast and change slowly. Failures decide slowly and change their minds constantly. Why? Because successful people know what they want, and knowing what you want is one of the most powerful tools a human can have. The world is full of distractions dressed as opportunities. That's why clarity is wealth, and confusion is expensive. People want to pick the perfect path before taking the first step, but you only find the path as you walk. You will fail, you will fall, but you'll learn, grow, and evolve. There comes a moment when you stop trying and start becoming. You don't chase wealth, you embody it. You eat like a millionaire. You speak with conviction. You treat your time as sacred. And then, the world outside adjusts to your inner world. Part 6. Final message. Call to action. You weren't born to live limited. You weren't designed to survive on autopilot. The life you imagine in silence. When no one's watching, it's possible, but it requires a decision. And that decision isn't about luck, contacts, or credentials. It's about who you choose to become from now on. Napoleon Hill didn't just write about wealth. He revealed that prosperity begins in the mind, not in the bank, not in the government, not in inheritance. In disciplined thought, unshakable faith, and consistent action, even when everything seems against you. Success begins inside, with a single thought: I refuse to live small. Now, the power is in your hands. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what's the biggest mental block you've identified in yourself? And how will you break it? Your answer could inspire someone else, and if you made it this far, it means something inside you is already shifting. So don't lose this momentum. Subscribe now and join this journey of deep mental reprogramming and real financial freedom. We're just getting started. See you in the next video.